Alrighty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. They got smoked in the first round of the playoffs. As usual, the Dallas Cowboys suck. Woo! Welcome to the Gridiron. That never gets old. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to fire away. Oh, time out. Gotta move the chair for my buddy Randy. Hold on. Watch your head. There you go. Okay. All right. Randy's here. We can continue. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away. Throw in the chat box. You try to check on the chat box like every 30 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to as fast as I can. So please feel free. Fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever I might want to be, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free. Fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them, so if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. That's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link. The one underneath it, it's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter. I'm an old-time fart. I hate change. Get off my lawn. I'm one of them old-time farts, right? It's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. It'll be Twitter today. It's Twitter tomorrow. It'll be Twitter 3 trillion years from now when I'm long gone. It's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. It's Twitter, right? Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. I try to put some Giants-related stuff in my Twitter account every day. As I said, if you follow me, I will follow you back. That's a promise. And then finally, also, the link right on top of it takes you to my Facebook group. The group is doing simply marvelous, might I add. What are we up to? We're up to over 7,800 members in the group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members post stuff in this group as well. So between me and the members, if you become a member, you can post stuff in this group too. Obviously, right? It's a group, right? But between me and the members, there's a boatload. There's a ton. There's an awful lot, you might say, of New York Giants information going into this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Please join the group. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Well, the Giant, the got our defensive coordinator, got our tight ends coach, and possibly there might be getting an offensive linebacker coach. I'm thinking OLB. I'm like, yeah, offensive linebacker coach. How about our outside linebacker coach? How's that? That's an O too. Offensive and outside, both those, right? So I screwed up. Shows you my intelligence level, huh? But well, I can't say we might be, but there's a chance that we might want to picking up the outside linebacker coach from the Titans who wound up getting let go. But it also kind of makes you think that Ryan Crow, all right, he's their outside linebacker coach, but we just got their tight ends coach Tim Kelly. Obviously. With Vrabel going. Yeah, I see. It's pretty weird too. I heard this report. One thing was like a lot of times, like when when they have like hirings and they got somebody coming in and sitting down and all of that, they're sitting down at the table or across them and they're talking and shooting the crap and all that stuff. And I heard this report about like with Vrabel, because he was a football player, he was a decent football player, but they said he was big, and they were saying that there's a possibility that maybe because he's on the outside looking in. I mean, like Pete Carroll, right now, I'm not sure if if he's looking to become a head coach. I'm not sure, but Belichick was right. But so we got some of the guys, some of these, decent coaches, on the outside looking in. But I heard a report that said that, because of his size, he's like 6'4", 6'4.5", but, big guy, right? I'm sure he's probably put on a couple pounds, especially around the belly. That's what we all kind of do as we get older. He's a big guy and he can be kind of intimidating, so some of the possibly, some of the, just possibly some of the coaching vacancies that were maybe available to him may not be available to him because, like I was saying, because of his size, he's just intimidating of a person. Who knows? I think if you believe in the guy, regardless, I mean, it didn't start. Well, Art Shell, he didn't wind up having a super duper successful career, with the Raiders, right? But he's a big dude. Obviously he was the coach for the Raiders. Back. I know he was there. I can't remember exactly what years, but I do know 1990 was one of them. That was interesting. That I heard that report that because of his size, Mike Vrabel could be, might not get some jobs. Because you look at some of the coaches that they got nowadays, some of they are kind of like low on the smaller side, size, thin, obviously younger. Obviously, a lot of what they're kind of going, nowadays. I mean, it's a copycat league, right? So, you come in, and you get McVay, right? You get McVay. Look what he did with the, now be the fair, the Rams chips in the middle of the table. Let's get this guy in. Let's get Odell Beckham. Let's sign this guy. Let's sign that guy for 1 year. Chips in the middle of the table. And it worked out for him. Doesn't always work out. Sometimes you get there, like with the Eagles, and you lose because they suck. But every now and then it wins. The Rams pushed all the chips in the middle of the table for that 1 year. Paid off. They wind up winning. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, regardless, McVay's a very good coach. But you look at McDonald, with the Miami, right? I mean, they're looking at a lot of it, it being like a copycat league. The McDaniel. I'm sorry. But it being like a copycat league, they're looking for the young guy, especially offensive minded, right? A lot of times, these guys coming in, right? Dable, offensive minded, right? Maybe not quite as young as, McVay or McDaniel or nothing, but, that's what they're, a lot of what they're kind of like looking for nowadays. But as I said, I can certainly see where Vrabel would be like an intimidating kind of a person. But it seems like now that they let go their coaching staff is like, are we starting to become like Tennessee East? I mean, I guess we were like, but maybe I don't know, say Buffalo South for a year or so there. Because some of the people from Buffalo came trickling down here, right? But Tennessee's out there. Actually, I was just in Tennessee about 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I was in Tennessee. Yeah, right. But they basically I don't know if they let the whole coaching staff go or not. Tell you what, man, they did themselves pretty good. They got Callahan, the offensive line coach. I'm not quite sure how they reeled him in, but Well, I'll tell you what, he's a very good offensive line coach. They really they did good there. Um, I'm not sure if Henry's going to be back there or not, but look for Tennessee, to start, that running game. Because he's a heck of an offensive line coach. But I'll tell you what, boy, if we could have gotten him, not saying that the guy that we have right now, our new offensive line coach, I'm not saying he's by any stretch of the imagination. What I'm hearing, he's a very good coach. But Callahan, let me tell you what, he's the top. He's up there with the top. So that the Titans did very, very good getting him. But obviously the Giants, they wound up picking up the tight ends coach from Tim Kelly from Tennessee. Now, this is what? From Giants.com. The Giants hired former Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator Tim Kelly to be their new tight ends coach. Kelly just completed his second season with the Titans and his 10th season coaching in the NFL. He was promoted to offensive coordinator in 2023 after serving as passing game coordinator in 2022. Prior to arriving in Tennessee, he spent 8 seasons with the Houston Texans, including 3 campaigns as their offensive coordinator. So he's used to calling some plays, right? 2022, Kelly's duties included work with the Titans tight ends, putting together the first and second down passing game and helping with the offensive plan in the red zone. The team's tight ends collectively ranked 7th in the NFL at their position with 952 receiving yards, including 450 yards by 4th-round draft pick Chig Okonkwo, who established a new franchise record for rookie tight ends and led all NFL rookie tight ends in 2022. Not bad. Now, I said, a lot of it you also have to kind of look at too is kind of like, what does he have to work with? Does he have, is he working with the Skittle man? Is he got Kelsey there? So sometimes you got to look at what's he working with and what results does he want to get, right? They were 7th in the NFL overall in that one season. It's not too bad, not too bad at all. Of course, like with the Giants, it does help. If a lot of it's going to depend upon Waller and his health. Because, he was on pace if he stayed healthy, which is not going to happen next season. But if he stayed healthy, he was on pace basically to lead the team in receptions. He was on pace, I think, for about 70 receptions, 70 to 75 before he missed those games. Was it 5 or 6 games he wound up missing? And I think he was on pace for about 800 yards receiving. It wasn't for like 1,000 yards or nothing like that. But for like about 800, receiving yards, about 70 receptions, somewhere around there. But I think maybe about 2 touchdowns because he only got the 1, I believe, right? So, but you look at like what did he have to work with and what results did he get, right? On first and second down, the Titans offense averaged 7.6 passing yards per attempt, which isn't too bad. And once again, look at what does he have to work with, right? Has he got Patrick Mahomes back there, right? What wide receivers does he have running down the field? He didn't have A.J. Brown because he was with the Eagles, right? If they had Brown, those numbers would have been even better. But they basically took an absolute freaking beast of a wide receiver and just they didn't give him away. Right, because they got some draft picks in return for him. But, a stone cold number 1, and they just, here you go, Eagles. I don't know. I don't know if it was, salary related or if there was any, any problems and whatever. That I don't know. But they gave themselves, the past couple seasons, a stone cold number 1 wide receiver. They didn't have him. So once again, you got to look at what these guys have to work with and what the results they wind up getting. Right? I posted something in. Now, once again, we don't want to say Phil Simms is, on Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks. There's Tom Brady. There's Joe Montana. There's Johnny Unitas. Then there's Phil Simms, of course. You know, I'm not saying that. Okay, but there was something I saw, and I saw it in one of the other Giant groups, and I posted it in the New York Giants, the Gridiron, my group, and about what Phil Simms. You know, I mean, he was. I'm going to get the numbers. His senior season, all right, at Morehead State, okay, that he was 2-6-1. I don't know if they just played 9 games. I mean, because you go back into the 70s, a lot of times some of the teams only played like 9 games, maybe 10. I mean, if you're going stone cold crazy, you got 10 games. If you hit double digits in the 70s, that was a lot of games. Then you had your bowl game. Right. So if you had 11 games, that would be 10 for the regular season and your bowl game. Because I used to follow Notre Dame. Notre Dame, a lot of times, had like 9 or 10 games. Nowadays, the way it is with the divisions and all that, the SEC, by the time the championship's on, they go to the bowl, they're playing about 85 games. So it's a little different than it was. But I mean, back then, for Morehead State, he got drafted in 79. So I guess his senior season, he was 2-6-1 as their starter. And I think it was his college career completion percentage was 48.1% or something like that. Nowadays, if you're not completing 70% of your passes, you suck. You're a 38th round draft pick. Well, he completed 69% of his passes, man. He sucks. Blows. Right. Yeah. But I think it was 48%. He had, now I'm going to get these numbers wrong. I know it was 30 something and 40 something. He had like 30, I'm going to say 35 or 36 career touchdown passes. And he had like 42 or 45, something like that, career interceptions. So he threw more interceptions, Phil Simms, more crazy as it is, and I'm going to continue this little story here. He was 2-6-1 at Morehead State his senior season. I think for his career he completed under 49% of his passes. I know it was under 50%. I know that for sure. It was 48 or 49%. It was under 50. That's a guarantee. And I said he threw a grand total of 30-something touchdown passes compared to 40-something interceptions for his career at Morehead State. Now, and it's like, who the hell would want to draft that? Right? But Joe Walsh, right? Bill Walsh, Bill Walsh, the coach of the 49ers. We're going to draft him. I think they were going to draft him, I believe, in the first round. I think that they were talking to him, and I think they said if they make it to the 49ers, they were going to, let's look this up here. 1979, because the Giants obviously drafted before the 49ers. So let me see here. 1979 NFL draft. Okay, let's see here. Obviously, in that draft, too, was Otis Anderson, right? Let's see here. Where did the 49ers draft? I thought it was in the 20s someplace. Was it the 20s? No. Maybe they didn't draft in the... Where are they? No, maybe they didn't have a... They guess they did not have. Maybe they traded it away. Oh, let me see here. Let me see if I can find. I have something that can figure it out, but I'd have to. Let's see, the 49ers. Seattle front. No, they didn't have a first round pick. I guess maybe they were. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. Okay. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, well, let's see. What did they? No, wait. Was it friend? Let me see here. Okay. Well, I mean, it worked out best for them anyway because they wound up taking Joe Montana in the 3rd round. But it looks like they traded away. Okay. The season is noted as running back O.J. Simpson's final year quarterback, my rookie season, first year as head coach. 49ers only team to lose 12 games in which they this is unbelievable. The 1979 San Francisco 49ers remain the only team in the NFL history to lose 12 games in which they had the lead. They were 2-14. 12 of those 14 losses they had the lead in. They lost the lead and they were 2-14. So they had the number 1 pick, but they traded away. And I don't know. It doesn't say that they traded it away to Buffalo. Maybe it was for O.J. Simpson. That's the only, because this was O.J. Simpson's final season. So the only thing I can think of is that the 49ers traded their number 1 pick, their first overall pick, for O.J. Simpson in 1979, his final season. So you traded away your first overall pick. Wow. For a battered, beat up, bruised O.J. Simpson who played 1 season for you. Wow. So the 49ers did not have a first round pick because they traded it away. So I'm thinking, so then if they basically, if Phil Simms got to pick number 29, because back then, remember, there was only 28 teams. So if Phil Simms got to, they took James Owen, whoever that was, in round 2. So if Phil Simms got to pick 29, the 49ers, Bill Walsh was going to take him. But it worked out, as I said, it worked out really good for them because they in the 3rd round, they got themselves Joe Montana. So they wound up probably with a better quarterback than Phil Simms, although I'll take Phil Simms any day of the week. But just kind of goes to show you, all right, that, a lot of it, it's not so much, what your numbers are. It's kind of like, what did you have working around you, right? It's kind of like a little bit like this also. It's like, obviously Daniel Jones and Haskins, right? A lot of people were coming. It's like, Daniel Jones completed like maybe 60% of his passes or so. Haskins completed like 70. Haskins' senior season, because he was Ohio State, he has 37 first-round wide receivers he's throwing the ball to. Daniel Jones, nobody goes to Duke to be a wide receiver. You go to Duke to play basketball, right? So Daniel Jones is throwing balls and guys are dropping passes and stuff like that. So everybody, look at Daniel Jones, he sucks. You got to pick Haskins. He completed 70% of his passes. He had 715 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, you got to pick Haskins, right? Haskins definitely the better, no, he's not. Whether you hate Daniel Jones, you're like, whatever. Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Haskins is. Boom. End of story. Okay. What did Daniel Jones do with what he had to work with? Okay. He didn't have a lot to work with. Haskins had a lot to work with, right? Put Daniel Jones with Haskins, take Haskins and put Haskins at Duke, and Haskins' numbers take a dumper, right? So you got to look at it, right? What do they have to work with? So it's the same thing kind of here. It's like you look at, the defensive coordinator we have, right? From Tennessee. Got some okay numbers, right? Not bad numbers. It was good against the run. We had some good numbers. But once again, I mean, it has a couple nice guys on defense. But, I mean, we're not talking the 85 Bears. We're not talking the 86 Giants. We're not talking the 2000, with a nice team, but nothing super duper unbelievable spectacular, right? So they got some decent numbers with them. Let's see here. Kelly is the tight end coach. Kelly joined the Texans in 2014 as an offensive quality control coach and added assistant offensive line duties in 2016. He served as a tight ends coach from 2017 to 2018. And in 2019, he was promoted to offensive coordinator, a title he held through 2021 while also coaching quarterbacks in 2020. So, I mean, right? I mean, offensive quality control, tight end coach. He coached quarterbacks. He called plays, right? During his time in Houston, the Texans won the AFC title on 4 occasions. 2015, 2016, 2018, and 2019. The only year they didn't do it was 2017. Not bad, right? 2021 third round quarterback, right? David Mills, remember him, appeared in 13 games with 11 starts for the Texans. He set a franchise rookie record of 2,664 passing yards, complete 66.8% of his passes as a freaking rookie. 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a passer rating of 88.8. Third round pick. Not bad, right? Mills led the NFL with 116.8 passer rating in the red zone. Okay. Additionally, veteran wide receiver Brandon Cooks recorded a career-high 90 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. In 2020, the Texans offense led the NFL in yards per reception, 12.6, and yards per play, 6.4. That's 6.4 yards per play. I'm taking that. Well, let's not forget it was Deshaun Watson, though, the freak that he is, right? He led the NFL and set the franchise single-season record with 4,823 passing yards. Whew, almost 5,000 passing yards. Whew. What a athlete that guy is. Unbelievable. Watson also ranked first in yards per attempt, 8.9. Second in passer rating, 112.4, and third in completion percentage, 70.2. Kelly's first season as offensive coordinator in 2019, the Texans put together a 10-6 regular season record and captured the AFC South title. Houston added several pieces that Kelly worked into the offense, including Laremy Tunsil, right, wide receiver Kenny Stills, and running back Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde. Tunsil was named to his first career Pro Bowl, while Hyde put together the first 1,000-yard season of his 6-year career. Some very good accolades here. Very, very good accolades here. Texans had 3 Pro Bowl selections on offense. Tunsil, Watson, and D-Hop, right? DeAndre Hopkins. Houston finished the season with 3,500-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher, and 1,000-yard receiver for the first time since 2012. Texans tied the team record for the most overall touchdowns, scored 46 in a single season. The Giants would take that, right? I mean, so it's done some very, very good things, right? Some very, very, very good things. He's very well. He just hasn't been like a tight ends coach, right? He's also called plays too, so he's got a lot. He's got a lot going for him. Now, one of these things you also have to look at too, and I heard this too, and I heard this on Big Blue Kickoff Live today. I think it was Big Blue Kickoff Live. No. It was on Patty Trainer's Locked On Giants. She had a guy on. I think it was the Locked On Titans guy, and he was talking about one of the things that you also look at is one of the reasons why the Titans, 2 seasons ago they didn't, the Jaguars won the division. The Titans had been like number 1, right, for a couple of years in a row, right? They had control. The Titans were doing very, very good with Vrabel. They were really doing good. Well, 2 seasons ago in 2022, they were by far the most injured team in the NFL. In 2021, they were very injured too. You look at some of it. I heard this today. I almost fell out of my seat when I heard this stuff here. Is that it? Is this it? Nope. Boom. Here we go. 2022. Okay. All right, let's see. Previous seasons. It was 2022. Nope. Hold on. 2022. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, here we go. Okay. In 2021, okay, the Tennessee Titans had 91 guys 91 guys play for him during the season. 91. You know why? Injuries. There were a lot of injuries. 91 different players. That's almost 2 full football teams, right? 53-man roster. Well, they had almost another 40 guys on top of that. So many injuries. But then also, I think it was the year after that. I got to count it. I think it was it 2022? They had, I think it was 31 or 34 guys were on injured reserved. Maybe it was 30. Maybe, let's see all there. It wasn't this past season. I do know. Now maybe it was in 2021 then. 2021, I think it was. They had like 34 guys on injured reserve. It was just crazy. Absolutely freaking crazy how many guys. But I mean, 2021, they had all those guys they were playing with. But I said, even in 2022, let's see, how many guys did they have on injured reserve in 2022? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Wait, there's more. Okay. 1, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. They had 30 guys on injured reserve in 2022. I think in 2021 they had 34 guys. I mean, so basically between 2021 and 2022, they wound up with like about 65 guys on injured reserve. I mean, you got to feel bad for the Giants because, we've led the league in injuries over the past, 10, 12 seasons, whatever it's been, cumulative, right? But those couple of seasons there, the Titans were just decimated with injuries, totally decimated. So, I mean, you got to look at a lot of it's kind of like, well, the Titans, and also, they don't have Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball there, right? They traded away a stud of a wide receiver. They're trying to put their hopes on Ryan Tannehill. Basically, it's the Henry show, right? Let's block for Henry, and when need be, we'll try to complete a pass here or there, right? Just keep feeding Henry the beast, right? But I said, but look what they got to work with. I mean, look at the injuries. They just totally decimated. 91 guys on the roster. 30, I think it was 34 guys that had an injury reserve. Like 2/3 of a football team they had on injury reserve. I mean, crazy, absolutely crazy. So some of it you got to look at. It's like, well, the defense was all right, but the injuries, tons of it. Plus, as I said, they were not lined from it wasn't the Dallas Cowboys defense, right? Where they had, just lined with one good star after another. There's no Micah Parsons there, the secondary, the defensive line, they don't have 13 edge rushers they can just keep bringing in, So what they did with what they had was pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see here. Yeah, of course, as I said, they want to bring it in Shane Bowen, right? The new defensive coordinator. Of course, it says here that their search lasted 27 days with 8 different interviews, but they hired their replacement. Bowen and former Los Angeles Charger defensive coordinator Derek Ansley were the only 2 candidates with experience at the position, and they wound up going with Bowen, right? Bowen spent the last 3 seasons as the Titans defensive coordinator, dating back to 2021. Before the role, the 37-year-old was the outside linebacker coach for Tennessee. Right, so he's an outside linebacker coach, right? So, whether they have him, okay, or whether they bring in Crow, right? I mean, if they bring in Crow, that would be fine because that obviously, once again, familiarity, right? And Crow's been an outside linebacker coach. Let's see. In his first season in Tennessee, the team had the 2nd-ranked rushing defense. And what has the Giants' biggest problem been, without question, since Wink came in? They can't stop the run. Even when we have Leonard Williams in there and we had we have a Carrick in the right behind there and all that stuff, we still can't stop the run. Right? Wow. Hoping that'll come to an end. Right? The one thing they were talking about with Patty Trainer, Locked On Giants, she was talking to the Locked On Tennessee Titans host, and he was talking about that. He said, Bowen is, he didn't say he was like an upper, maybe out of a scale of 1 to 10, where somebody might be a 9 or a 10. Like Robert Saleh, when he did when he was with the 49ers. I mean, he brought passion and they were good and all. He's like a 9 or a 10. This guy here right now, he might be like a 7, somewhere around there, right? But a lot of it's also the personnel, right? I mean, you look once again, what did he have to work with, and what the results that he got with what he had to work with? Not bad. I'm saying if the Giants can keep, the Giants unfortunately are going to lose a couple of good guys this year. They're probably going to lose the X-Man, Xavier, right? Adoree Jackson's probably going to be gone. We lost Leonard Williams, of course. Obviously he's getting a little long in the tooth and all of that. So we're trying to get younger, right? But so we do need to add a couple more. We do can obviously keep adding more and more pieces. Obviously to the puzzle. But if we can keep adding some nice quality pieces to the puzzle, right? Bone have some nice stuff to work with. But we do need to stay healthy though too. That's huge. It says with Tennessee, the team had the second-ranked rushing defense in the NFL. The next season, the Titans led the league in rushing. They led the league in rushing defense, allowing 76.9 yards per game. The Giants were allowing that per half with Wink, darn near, right? The Titans were 13th in 2023. Okay, the Titans were 13th in rushing defense. All right. Which is better than what we were, right? 18th in yards allowed and 16th in points, right? And the thing is, once again, is that, what does he have to work with, right? But I mean, if you can at least be, in the middle of the road, you're going to give yourself, your team an opportunity to win. The one thing that, this past season, I didn't look years in the past, but the one thing this past season anyway was the Titans were not very good at getting turnovers. I think they had like 14 turnovers on defense. They averaged less than 1 per game. That is not good. The one thing that did keep the Giants in a lot of games, especially remember in the beginning of the year, they couldn't get a sack and we couldn't get a turnover like that. And all of a sudden they started coming and we wound up with 31. Very, very impressive. Now, I mean, you can imagine if we got some turnovers in the beginning of the season, what we could have wound up with. But, one of the reasons why we were either in games at the end of the season or we won games, was because we got a lot of turnovers, and that was huge. But the Titans did not generate a lot of turnovers at all this past season. I didn't look, back. But once again, what does he have to work with, right? So, I mean, I think if we can add some more pieces to the puzzle and give him some good quality players to work with, we might have something here. It says this season the Giants defense was tied for first in turnovers of 31 and the bottom 6 in NFL in yards and points allowed. So, I mean, they were bottom 6 in the NFL in yards and points allowed, right? But once again, some of that is the theory of relativity. When you have no offense, right? And your defense is on the field, right? When your offense goes on there, 1, 2, 3 punt, and your defense is back on the field. Then your defense goes off the field, and your offense goes back on the field. 1, 2, 3 punt, your defense is back on the field. It's kind of tough to, have a real good, solid defense when your offense stinks. Okay. Let's see here. Bowen worked as a graduate assistant for Ohio State, assisting then defensive line coach Mike Vrabel in 2012. Right. So once again, you have the, familiarity there. Right. And as I said, hopefully with any luck, I'm not maybe totally 100% over the moon, but there's a chance, right? We might wind up getting Ryan Crow, their outside linebacker coach. Said yet another member of the former Tennessee Titans head coach, Mike Vrabel's coaching staff has been let go. The Titans have parted ways with their outside linebacker coach, Ryan Crow, who had been in that position since 2021. Prior to taking over outside linebacker coach, Crow was a defensive assistant for 2 seasons before moving to assistant special teams coach. As of right now, the only coach from Vrabel's staff who appears to have a shot to stay is defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. No, that's not happening. So, so I'm saying it's a good chance we might wind up getting Crow. And once again, he's a young guy too, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Oh, we come in like Tennessee East, but they had a winning, atmosphere there, right? Right? They were doing very, very good. And I said, you once again, look at what they had. I mean, they have some nice guys, but I mean, like on offense, hey, they had Brown, right? But they traded him away. And basically they're trying to win Super Bowls with Ryan Tannehill. Let's play some good defense. Let's run the ball, control the clock, not give a lot of turnovers, this, that, and the other thing, and all blah, 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 blah. And let's try to win a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill. Now, maybe if they had Patrick Mahomes, maybe things would be a little bit different, right? But they had a winning culture there, okay? They were past couple of seasons, maybe not so much 2023, but 2021, 2022, they were freaking decimated by injuries. And as we saw with the Giants, nothing can kill a season faster than injuries. And the Giants' offensive line, right? We were, decimated with injuries, right? And what happened? Second most sacks ever allowed. Now, we were second by quite a far mark because the Eagles, 100 and whatever it was in a 16-game schedule was like 20. They gave up like 20 more sacks in one less game in 16 games. So that season, oh my God, I think Lawrence Taylor had 93 of those sacks in 1986, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm saying you look at the offensive line injuries. Right, injuries. Everybody was injured. Oh, there was nobody except for like maybe Glowinski. But if he wasn't injured, we benched him. Right. I mean, there was nobody. I mean, you can go down the list. Everybody. Pugh came in off the couch. Right, so he didn't play the whole season. Glowinski maybe wasn't injured, but we benched him. Neal was injured. McKeithen was injured. Azudu was injured. Lemieux was injured. Right, Parrott was injured. Andrew Thomas was injured. John Michael Schmitz was injured. Injuries. Right? We let go Phillips, and we had to bring him back. Right? So I mean, there's no consistency there. So what winds up happening? You have bad offensive line play. So nothing can derail a season faster than injuries. And so in 2021 and 2022, the Titans were totally decimated with injuries. Right? So Am I doing backflips with my silly little Santa suit on? I'm just so happy, and that we hit the lottery. No, but am I happy? Yeah, I'm happy. I think once again, do I think we hired the greatest defensive coordinator of all time? No. Do I think we got the greatest tight end coach of all time? No. But do I think we like I said, like with our strength and conditioning coach, offensive line coach, the tight ends coach, okay, cool. The defensive coordinator, cool. The special teams coach, yeah, okay. No, I think we brought in some good guys. I still don't know how. I'll tell you what, how the Titans got in Callahan. Man, I'll tell you what, they hit the home run with that guy. Wow. Anyway, now moving on to that Moron Kadarius Toney. My God, what a freaking idiot. Now he's talking about. Now the story's changing. Now it's that expletive, the curse word rant that he went on, right? And it had nothing to do with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? It had to do with the Giants. He was a Giant fan. All of a sudden, he was doing something. All of a sudden, a Giant fan came in on his Twitter account or something like that, and he just went off on his Giant fan, right? It had nothing to do with the Chiefs. No, not at all. No, not at all. Somebody really needs to just sit that dude down and just shut the up. Whatever you're trying to do, dude, just shut the up. Every time you open your mouth, you're making it worse. Are you that stupid? Really? I mean, what an absolute idiot. What an idiot. I said sometimes social media can be very, very good, but it can be your worst enemy. And this guy just keeps stepping in dog do every freaking time he goes on social media. What an absolute idiot. What an absolute moron. I mean, Kadarius Toney. Let's see. What do we got? What's this moron guy that said? Kadarius Toney says on his Instagram rant was at the Giants fans, not the Chiefs. He was talking with Michael Robinson, and apparently, I guess Kadarius Toney maybe has a brand new baby or something like that. If that's the case, congratulations, Kadarius. But he was talking, Kadarius was talking. It says receiver Kadarius Toney, the failed Giants first round pick, blah, 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 recently found himself in hot water yet again from comments being made on social media in which he appeared to be attacking his current team, the Chiefs, over whether he was injured. But at the opening night of the Super Bowl, Toney insisted that his at times incoherent rant was wasn't directed toward the Chiefs, but rather at a Giant fan base. Oh, yeah. Sure. It kind of started like that, but in the process of that, I guess it got interrupted, Toney said of his rant. So it got a mixed message. I guess you could say then a lot of footage got chopped up and released. So it made it like I was attacking the Chiefs, I loved the most. I never attacked the Chiefs, never say anything bad about the Chiefs. Who I was referring to was the Giants fans, people in my comments. Says this isn't the first time the ultra-sensitive Toney, who was traded to the Chiefs after his antics wore thin on general manager Joe Schoen and head coach Brian Daboll, has indirectly admitted that the Giants fan base is living rent-free in his head. After the Chiefs' last Super Bowl championship, he flipped the finger at the Giants fan base and was getting sized up for his Super Bowl ring. Toney claimed that his now deleted X account, the Twitter account, his now deleted Twitter account, formerly known as Twitter, to me it's formerly known as X because it's a Twitter account, was hacked. Yeah, sure. After he got into a profanity laced back and forth with a Giant fan in which Toney sent a voice message instead of a typed response. Dude, I mean, I don't know how stupid you are, man. When the fan went public with Toney's response, the receiver claimed to have been hacked. Sure he did. What an absolute idiot. Just an absolute freaking moron. Yeah. But see, you also don't understand, is that, see, every time something like, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. If you're talking to the man, you're talking to Santa Claus, if you're talking to the Lucky Charms leprechaun, you're talking to a Giants fan, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. Just the fact that you're going on there cursing and swearing and this, you know what that makes you look like? I mean, it's simply amazing that this absolute idiot doesn't understand this. Do you know what it makes you? It doesn't matter who you're talking to. Shut your fucking mouth. Act like a grown-up. Be a man. If somebody's on, so what? Delete them or whatever. Or whatever. I mean, doesn't understand that every time he opens up his mouth and starts doing stuff like it doesn't matter who he's talking to. It makes him look bad. And it's going to get him shipped out of Kansas City. He's on a Super Bowl winning team. They're going back to the Super Bowl once again. Shut your mouth. Be the best person you can be, and maybe you'll get yourself another Super Bowl. And that way, maybe you'll be able to give the Giant fans two birds, right? Because you'll have 2 Super Bowl rings, right? He's on the best team in football. I mean, obviously, maybe the Chiefs and the 49ers, right? But he's, right? But I mean, you get strikes, right? And this will be after he winds up probably getting released from the Chiefs somewhere along the line because they're not going to put up with this. They're not going to listen to this crap. That'll be strike number 2. I mean, you can be so good, right? But after a while, his teams will be like, nah, this dude, we don't care what kind of talent he is or whatever. This guy's just bad news. He's going to get in trouble. He's going to start doing this, and I ain't going to want to have to answer to that moron. You know what I mean? The dude can't shut his mouth. The guy doesn't understand what he's doing and all that. So we can't help him here. We don't want him. He's on the best. The Giants traded him to the best team in football. He might get a second Super Bowl ring. Shut your mouth, dude. but he is too much of an immature idiot, and he doesn't understand, doesn't see that. His way of responding to this is just lashing out and all that and everything, and that's not the way to do it. You be a man. You're growing up. You want to be a man, and he doesn't understand. The man is the one that can turn around and walk away from a situation, right? Doesn't let him bother him. Brushes it off and turns around and walks away. The low life worth of piece of human trash is the one that gets all upset and starts cursing and threatening people and stuff like that. Those are the people that aren't the men, right? So he needs a mentor or somebody like that. He needs somebody to just sit him down and just slap him silly. Dude, just shut up. Shut up, dude. Every time you open your mouth, you're making it worse. If you're too stupid to understand that, I can't help you. Shut up. You're an idiot. You're a total idiot. What an idiot. Absolute idiot. All right. And then moving on here. Now, I'll tell you what, I keep seeing more and more about how about that Spencer Rattler. Now, the thing is like, the Giants are going to have to do something, obviously, with the quarterback situation. Now, like when mini camps or whatever start rolling around, like in May, Daniel Jones probably ain't going to be ready. So all we got is Tommy Chicken Cutlet Parmesan, right? All the vodka sauce on the side. That's all we got. It's the only quarterback we got is healthy, right? So we're going to need, like in May, we're going to need at least 2 other quarterbacks. Possibly, who knows, 3. Right. I mean, obviously, you can bring in a couple undrafted free or an undrafted free agent. Maybe we might want to. I saw maybe. I wouldn't be upset about it. If we brought back Tyrod. I love Tyrod. Class act human being. Class act. Teammate. Great for the organization. All that. He's a nice touch. Looks downfield. Right. He uses his legs. Smart, intelligent. Unfortunately, he's an injury waiting to happen. As I said, the dude can play on my freaking team anytime. It's unfortunate. He's Tyrod. I get injured every other series. Taylor. That's right. If we bring him back, okay. But it's just injuries. What is Daniel? Other than all the other stuff with Daniel Jones, whether you like him or hate him, what injuries, right? So they're going to bring in Tyrod Taylor. What's Tyrod? Injuries, We're trying to avoid this stuff, right? So we got Daniel Jones coming back. Hopefully the guys we got behind him might stay a little healthy, right? So I saw an article. I mean, you see so many articles. Oh, the Giants should maybe go after this guy. Should the Giants go after that guy? Should the Giants see if Jerry Rice wants to come out of retirement? Should the Giants see if Barry Sanders wants to come? I mean, it's freaking absolutely amazing. But one thing I did see was, Minshew mania. Absolutely. He would, I thought I saw he might be $8 or $9 million. So, if the Giants can maybe sign into a couple-year deal, maybe take that cap hit this year, bring it down a little bit. Okay, cool. But if we brought in Minshew mania, cool. I got no problem with that. But we're going to need to bring in a few guys, especially by May. At least 2. Now, you look at the Giants now, quite possibly, just for just the stuff I'm hearing is that a lot of it, if you're looking at it, like picks maybe 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, right? Quarterbacks, quite possibly. It's not written in stone, right? Because the draft is, it's a couple months away. But, and then probably whoever the next pick is might be Marvin Harrison Jr. So possibly, if the Giants sit at 6, the first 4 might be the 3 quarterbacks and Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay. Which quite possibly might lead the Giants can either grab a tackle. I don't know. They're going to go crazy and grab that tight end from Georgia, or they might get a wide receiver. Or maybe if somebody wants to jump up for some reason at number 6 with the top 3 quarterbacks gone, I don't know. But, the Giants are going to need to draft a quarterback. Now, quite possibly that the top 3 might be gone by the time the Giants draft at 6. Now, unless the Giants, for whatever reason, are going to try to jump up, it'd be almost impossible to jump up with the Patriots or the Commanders if they need a quarterback, right? I mean, unless you're going to give the Commanders your next 315 first-round picks or something like that, it'd be pretty impossible to jump up and trade with them, right? So the Giants are going to have to grab somebody somewhere along in the NFL draft. Now, is that going to be, maybe a third or fourth round, since they may not grab one in the first, maybe one of their second-round picks, right? But I mean, I keep hearing stuff about Spencer Rattler. Once again, he was the MVP, right, of the bowl game. Now, let's not forget the Giants drafted 3 of the MVPs in a row, right? Back in Loletta and Jones, 17, 18, 19. They drafted the MVP three seasons in a row, right? Well, this season was Spencer Rattler. Now, the guy, it seems like to me, the guy's been around freaking like forever. He played 5 seasons. It seemed like he's played like 8 seasons to me. But, I mean, he was with Oklahoma. Let me pop up his numbers here. There we go. Then he started getting some turnovers, and then he wound up leaving. The last 2 seasons, he wound up playing with South Carolina. Let's see, this past season, his passer rating's been very good, but once again, this is college, so it's a little bit different. This past season, he had 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, threw for 3,186 yards, completed almost 69% of his passes. 2021, let's see here, his sophomore season in Oklahoma, he played in 9 games, completed almost 75% of his passes. Right. Then after that season, he wound up transferring. But in 2020, when he was with Oklahoma, he threw 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Right. He completed 67.5% of his passes, a little over 3,000 yards, 172.6 on the quarterback rating, which is absolutely fantastic. Right. I mean, he has the tools. He's only 6'1", so we're not talking 6'4", 6'5", or something like that, right? He might just need a little bit of refinement, right? Maybe he can get that with the Giants. It says this is what? Heavy.com sports? Heavy, yep, heavy.com. Giants urged to take a swing at fallen quarterback prospect with outstanding arm. Absolutely, especially if you can grab him, and take a shot at him. He's got a good arm. Quarterback is a position of need for the Giants. That's no secret. In fact, General Manager Joe Schoen has stated multiple times that Big Blue must add to their quarterback room this offseason, with Tyrod Taylor set to hit free agency and Daniel Jones working his way back from his torn ACL. However, that's not exactly going out on a limb. So to do so, the Giants sign a veteran backup to complement Jones and third stringer Tommy DeVito? Or do they draft a quarterback prospect to develop behind the aforementioned quarterback duo? A February 4th mock draft from Big Blue's Ed Valentine urged the G-men to go to the younger route, but this new scenario suggested waiting until round 3. That's possible. He might be there in round 3 to select a signal caller at pick 70. So that would give the Giants, the nice thing about that would be, they're talking at pick 70, it would give the Giants their first round pick, their 2 second-round picks, and then their third-round pick, they draft a quarterback, right? Somebody maybe they can work with, right? I mean, he's not somebody you're going to shove right in there right away. All right, Spencer, take us to the Super Bowl, brother. We're all behind you. No, it's not happening, right? But as I said, you maybe whatever, first round. I mean, it's the same thing with the wide receivers. You can draft a wide receiver first round, second round, third round, get yourself a good prospect, right? So, whether the first round, maybe we take, say, Alt, right, the tackle. Just saying, right? Second round, you can certainly grab a good wide receiver in the second round. And then I said that maybe you grab a guard, whatever, just saying, you know what I mean? In the second round. So that way you address the offensive line, you got your wide receiver, right? If you want to grab a running back or something, you can grab that in the 5th or 6th round, somebody else to complement Eric Gray. Yeah, I mean, but third round, right? He's got a good arm. He's got obviously having a good arm is one thing, but performing in the NFL is something else. It's true Rattler burst into the collegiate scene as a highly anticipated passer that could make every throw. He achieved a 172.6 passer rating at Oklahoma in 2020. Right? He had 34 total touchdowns. So he had 28 passing touchdowns. I guess he had 6 rushing touchdowns. Unfortunately, Rattler's propensity for turnovers and bad decisions got him benched in 2021. Before long, he transferred to South Carolina, where he had even more ups and downs with 37 passing touchdowns and 20 interceptions over 2 seasons. But once again, this talent level is not what it was. Okay. Now, but once again, okay, what does he do with what he has? Right? What did he do in the Senior Bowl? What did he have in the Senior Bowl? Good players. Right? Good players. Okay. What did he do? He won the MVP. Okay. What did he do at South Carolina? He had some ups and downs. What did he have at South Carolina? Up and down ball players. Is he going up to the line of scrimmage looking at a guy 4 wide, right? Omaha. He looks to his right. What's he got? 2 first-round wide receivers out there. He calls Omaha again. Looks to his left. What's that over there? He's got 2 additional first. Now, come on. Come on, right? Right? So he's up and down. What's he got on the offensive line? He's up under the center, calling the signals, right? What's he got? 5 first-rounders, right? No, come on. He's at South Carolina, okay? Right? So he is up and down. What's he got? He's got up and down players. You get up and down results, right? He goes to the bowl. He becomes the MVP. What's he got? Good guy. Got good guys blocking. Good guys he's catching. He threw the one pass, and I can't remember the guy who caught the ball. He just went up there. What happened? He had a good wide. It was good coverage, right? He threw the ball up where the wide receiver could see it, right, and can come down with it. Good quality wide receiver. What did he do? He went up and got him down with the ball. Why? Because he's a good quality wide receiver. So sometimes you give the people some stuff what they can work with, right? And what do? You get some good results. You give them trash to work with, and what are you going to get? You're going to get trash, right? As I said, I don't mean to sound like Daniel Jones is the second coming of Joe Montana or nothing like that. He's not Tom Brady. All right? But when you look at Daniel Jones's production at Duke, what does he have to work with? As I said in the beginning of this video, you go to Duke to play basketball. You don't go there to be a wide receiver. Okay? Yeah. So what he had to work with was not ideal. Okay? So the production you're going to get is not ideal. Plain and simple. Okay? Dwayne Haskins, went to Ohio State. What's he got? He's got first-round wide receiver over here, first-round wide receiver over there. He can go like this. Give me the ball. Okay. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to throw the ball over there, and my first-round wide receiver is just going to go up and come down with the ball because they're not doing that at Duke. Okay. On the basketball court, they'll do that at Duke because you go to Duke to play basketball. Right? But if any single quarterback raised their stock at the Senior Bowl, it was Rattler. The South Carolina product was named MVP of the entire event, and by the end of it, everyone was raving about the 6'1" gunslinger because he can sling it, right? Rattler showed off his outstanding arm talent and delivered well-timed tight spirals to all levels of the field, wrote the Athletics' Dane Brugler. Okay, Dane Brugler is very, very, very good. Very, very good as far as spotting talent and evaluating talent and all that. He is. I'm not. Okay. So if he says, some well-timed tight spirals, if he's to all levels of the field, if he wrote that, I'm believing it. Okay. He also displayed the ability to layer throws, giving his receivers a chance to go make a play. Like I got the aforementioned. I can't remember. I got it right here. I can't remember. The guy was from Georgia, maybe. He caught the pass in the corner of the end zone, right? The Rattler made a good impression. Continue. Each of the quarterbacks had their share of good plays, and Rattler certainly showed off the physical traits that once made him considered a Heisman Trophy frontrunner. But nobody has ever really doubted Spencer Rattler's mobility or arm talent. What Rattler really needed to show was consistency, and he did that. His performance left scouts saying that he was the most impressive passer of the weekend, while Brugler was less sure. One of the key concerns with Rattler off his college tape was his ability to play with urgency to combat the rush, Brugler cautioned. These practices don't really give elevators a chance to answer that question, so I don't think Rattler's dramatically improved his draft grade this week, but he made a solid impression. Let's see. It says, is Spencer Rattler the high-risk arm that Brian Daboll should try to develop? Giants head coach Brian Daboll did wonders with Josh Allen, another high-risk, high-reward quarterback prospect. Granted, Allen will still be a top 10 pick, and Rattler is far from that. And obviously the same thing, with Allen is, a freaking beast. Allen's what is he, 6'4", 6'5"? What is he, like 395 pounds? He just runs over people. So Rattler's not that, okay? Rattler's developmental route could tap into one of the organization's greatest strengths. With Daboll, quarterback coach Shea Tierney, and potentially current offensive coordinator Mike Kafka all involved in the quarterback room, why not take a chance at him, right? Rattler projects as a starting NFL quarterback with a good ceiling, the scouting experts summarized. With his combined physical tools and mental growth, he can become a top 12 to 15 quarterback. So, Parson also credited Rattler with the ability to uplift and elevate average at best talent at South Carolina. As I said, once again, it's hard to, sometimes you get the apples and oranges. You look at somebody, as I said, from like Ohio State or Alabama, when it seems like each year they churning out 17 first-round wide receivers every year from Alabama. Oh, this quarterback's so great. I can complete passes at Alabama. Just give me the ball. I just go back there, and the guys come grab the ball, come down with it, and just run for a touchdown. It's not too hard. But when you're playing with average players, it's kind of tough to get, 79 touchdowns with no interceptions and, 452,000 yards passing the season when you have average players. It's kind of tough to do that, So, as I said, is this something the Giants could take a flyer on? And maybe, what they were saying, maybe the third round. I thought it might be the second round, maybe the third round. Yeah, he can make the throws. He's got some talent, right? Maybe he just needs a little bit of refinement. Maybe between Tierney, Daboll, and Kafka for at least maybe this one season, maybe they can start getting the money up and up. And if worst comes to absolute worst, right? Maybe he can be the backup quarterback, right? Whether it's Daniel Jones or whether it's somebody else, whoever that is. Hey, if you can get somebody like a Spencer Rattler who can make all the throws, especially if you give him some good quality wide receivers to throw the ball to. If you got Jalen Hyatt, right? You got Wan'Dale Robinson. If we draft a dog or a wide receiver in the first or second round, give him some weapons to throw the ball to. Hey, maybe Spencer Rattler could be, if the worst comes to worst, a pretty darn good backup for us. We need a backup quarterback. You need a good, as we see, Daniel Jones, who seems to get hurt quite often, right? You need a good quality backup quarterback. And if you get Spencer Rattler and you get him for 4 years on the cheap for that third round, I don't know what that would be, $800,000, $900,000 a year. Sign me up for that. All right, guys, it's been 1 hour and 8 minutes. Shoot my mouth off. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.